everyone. I'm Bobby Jones, and this is episode 3 of the Extra Mile podcast. And to my left, your guys' right, I have my guest, Lyfe Walker with the Dover Gym. Lyfe, we've just met not too long ago, and really, when I say we met, we got to have some conversations and found out there's some similarities in our, in our past and our childhoods. And so that's something that we're going to touch on a little bit today as well. But I'm going to let Lyfe kind of introduce himself a little bit and talk about some of the things that he has going on today that's kind of exciting and new as well.
Well, hey, I'm Lyfe. Own Dover Gym. And it's one of the best gyms in Dover. So I've been told. We're expanding.
Yeah,
we're expanding. We're developing an athletic program for kids, adults, senior citizens.
Awesome.
All in the same building. So I'm excited about that. That's coming 2020. Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
Back to the future.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. I'm just
the boxing though. What you got boxing coming, right?
Yeah, we got
expanding on the boxing.
Well, the athletic, Dover Gym Athletics. So it's gonna be everything. Whatever I could think of, that's what we're gonna be training out of that building.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Awesome.
I'm just trying to seal the deal.
Right.
With having the kids have something to do besides basketball, football. Like,
right.
If you want to come there and train your eyeballs, we're going to have it.
Right. Yeah. 2020 is going to be a year, I think, and especially the coming years are going to be years where people are really trying to get more specific and unique about what they're doing. Athletics are really starting to become, all over the place. Even, gyms have these CrossFits and kickboxing and like all these different niche things. But, people are starting to look for like where's their position with how they're going to create that physical habit. That's something that's going to keep them fit. Right.
So, So, exactly. And that's what we want trying to apply.
Yeah, so people are constantly looking for something a little bit more unique. So that's interesting. I like that. And plus, you got so many like skilled trainers around you that why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to capitalize off of the people that's around me. You know what I mean? That's about it.
Yeah.
So, somebody come up, you get it too. Hey, I do this, I do that. You don't shove them off. You put them to the side just in case you're going to need them.
That's right. And you take note. Yeah, you're definitely listening. Yeah,
you
that's
listen
a good
to people
point,
when
man.
they start talking. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm just trying to consolidate everybody that said they could do this, that, and third, and put them to the test.
That's right.
Yeah,
dude,
challenge them.
It's been really awesome to watch, what's going on over at Dover Gym.
Yeah, you family now. So
I know, right? Yeah, you guys got me getting my butt kicked every couple of days now, man. Shout out to RJ kicking my butt. Yeah, man, it's funny. I was over there talking with Kwame a little while ago, and he was talking about how he made my brother came in there one morning, he worked him, and he ended up throwing up because he had been drinking the night before. I said, I stopped drinking before I did this. But RJ's had me pretty close a couple of times, man. It's definitely worth it. And you need that. You need somebody to push you, And
that's what we want, man. And I tell anybody, if you can't help them, don't stand next to me because that's my name.
Right.
People think it's them,
man,
but it's not.
Yep.
It's my name.
It's big that you said that too, because that helping, like I feel like so many entrepreneurs find their way to help, right? And it's like, you might be an expert at accounting, you might be an expert at law, but you are finding a way to serve. Yeah. You're finding a way to help people improve their lives or the processes within their lives. So that part of it, I think like that's crucial in an entrepreneur's mindset, is to have that willingness to contribute, that willingness to serve, that willingness to help. And then you find your vehicle for that is whatever service you offer.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like we all have that common goal.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Some people buy into that, which, they don't understand how that works when you buy into becoming an entrepreneur. We are born to do this.
Mm-hmm. That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So even as a kid, I've been working. Mm-hmm. Being an entrepreneur, bagging groceries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shoveling snow, cutting grass.
It,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it was something that I couldn't work for nobody. I knew that.
Nah.
And as you early on, they think that we bucking against them. It's just that I don't want to work for you.
Right. Exactly.
I'm smarter than you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't
it's
see
self-awareness too.
Yeah.
You know that about yourself at least, and at least you can pursue that too. So I like that.
Right.
It's funny you say that because I found myself in a lot of different, like looking back, right? I excelled as the employee and I excel as an entrepreneur, but it's because in that employee role, I really felt self-employed. Like I really was like the president of my own personal services corporation.
I felt like that too. I used to be a cop, and I felt like that too until they check you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. There's only so
there's only so much I could do. Right.
Yeah. So you brought up entrepreneurship like as a kid, you had that like mentality to hustle and grind. So let's talk about that a little bit more because that's where we found by kind of just common conversation that we have some similarities there. So can you take us back to your childhood a little bit and talk about that?
Of course. So I'm a foster kid.
Yeah.
Like that. Moved around from time to time. I had my little brother. So they was trying to put us with families that accept babies and little kids. I mean, young kids. So some people, they won't accept kids 8 or 9 because they're too old.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? So the baby, because it's not walking. So it's one family that took both of us in.
Okay.
And I lied to you not. He was an entrepreneur from head to toe. He could do it all. You know what I mean? Yeah, and his drive, he did roofing. I did roofing. Yeah, I laid concrete. Yeah, I did all this stuff, man. Yeah.
That's
8,
crazy.
9 years old. Yeah, man. So he always just said, go out there and earn it. And that's been my mantra since then.
Yeah.
And just trying to find out, because it's tough trying to save money and then reinvest it into your ideas. It's tough.
Absolutely.
People don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. They don't want to take that money that they saved up for 8, 9 months or a year.
Well, most people don't have the discipline to save it in the first place. But you're right. And then once they have it, they're so afraid to take a risk
dump
with
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't get it back. I mean, but that's been my whole thing, man. I don't mind, man. I put my head down, I grind, and then when I lift it up, do what I have to do, and everybody think it's easy. Because when we grind it, we ain't saying nothing.
Right, exactly.
Until it's like, yo, when you get that?
Right. Or they're wondering why you're not complaining all the time, right? Because they expect somebody that's working hard to be complaining all the time. But when you're loving something and you're excited about it, what's there to complain about, man?
Because they looking at the entrepreneurship as competition. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's no competition. Nope. I'm an individual, so I'm different. Yep. So my brain is going to be totally different than yours.
That's right.
So that's how I look at and I attack what I do, because it's a gym.
Right.
It's plenty of gyms in here.
Of course.
The only way I'm surviving, I got to be different. I got to be me. Mm-hmm. So when you walk into my gym, if you don't know me, you'll know that, red and black.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Lyfe, Jim.
Yeah. You really got a great brand. I've loved it since the beginning, and it's something that when you see that bar hanging over there, you know exactly what that's from.
Yeah, man. So, yeah. I thought, I've been an entrepreneur. I'm a music producer as well.
Okay.
So that's what I did to get to this platform, to get my own gym.
Shoot, man.
Yeah,
I'm learning some stuff. Yeah.
So you learn how to develop awareness and cater to the demographic that you think that wants your brand.
Right.
I mean, all right, so in the beginning when you started your company, you wanted everybody to have it. Like, I want to be on this TV, radio. And then you say, damn, everybody don't deserve it.
Right.
Only a few people that can see
exactly, yeah.
You want it, and then you trying to find a needle in the haystack to say, hey, you, come here.
Yeah,
try this out.
You start targeting,
yes,
right? Because targeting is going to get you that person that you want. Because at the end of the day, like you said, and for the people that don't know on the other end of that camera, I am a roofer. I have a roofing company today, and so it's kind of funny hearing Lyfe say that you did roofing because I have a roofing company. I've never done a roof in my entire life, but I have very skilled people with me that have and do, and of course are experts at what they're doing. But also, so in addition to that similarity, foster care. Yeah. So I was in and out of foster care growing up and ended up in many different homes. And I remember one night, I remember one of the homes that I was in, I was actually sleeping in a lawn chair with blankets padding the lawn chair. and that's where I slept at in that lawn chair. But like you, I had a sibling with me, and so I had to remain strong through those different homes. And then at one point we get separated. But at the same time, like we were talking about earlier, there's some self-awareness about what you think you can accomplish in life, and you just grind hard and you push hard in that direction. It's really interesting because like I know that there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that want to start businesses and want to get going. But when they talk about their ideas, right, the people around them, and it's people oftentimes that care about them,
right,
and they'll be like, "No, you shouldn't do that.
Shoot it down.
You shouldn't do that, right? You should stay with your stable job." When you were starting your business, when you were starting Dover Gym, did you experience that at all with people around you, or?
Of course, but this is way back. I've been, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur. So I became a cop right out of high school in Jersey.
Okay.
So
That's
I've been
pretty
doing
stable job.
Yeah. So, but I'm a drummer. So I was playing for churches at a young age. You know what I mean? So developed networking. Got into the music biz, right? Yeah. So I'm a cop. Now I'm a music producer. Then I started my own company, Gravity Records, right?
Nice.
So the police department gave me an ultimatum, and this is where people that's not like us will fall short. Yep. They say, hey, shut it down, my business, or you got to retire from being a cop. So, 19 years old, making $40,000, authority figure. That's everybody's dream. Man, I retired that thing so fast.
Yeah.
Because I believed in what I was doing. You know what I mean? Was
That's
way
huge.
more important. And then, the contingency plan, like, well, if it don't work out, can I come back? They're like, yeah, you can come back. Cool. I ain't been back since.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny. I find that some entrepreneurs, when they have that backup plan, they almost don't do well. But you're like me. Like for me, because of what I've experienced in my life, like I have to plan for if tomorrow this is all gone.
Yeah.
What do I do then? I've already thought about that and two other options.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
of
And
course.
so for me, I can't help but think that way. But a lot of times when people have a backup plan or maybe parent money, right, money from parents and things like that, they only go forth with so much effort because they know they got somebody that's going to take care of it. The fact that nobody was out there to pay for my bills was one of the reasons why I was constantly grinding and like, look, nobody's going to do this. But it produced extreme ownership from me, right?
Yeah.
It produced the point where like, listen, if it's to be, it's up to me. I got to be the one to make this happen.
Right.
And so like that's something that I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs lack. When you talked about believing in something, man, it takes an unwavering belief in what you're doing to be successful in it. Because like salespeople, right? Salespeople that don't believe in their product, man, I see through that right away. But if a salesperson's in front of me today and they believe in their product 100%, they know that it's in my best interest because it's the best product on the market.
Right.
And they believe that, so they're able to enthusiastically transfer that energy to me.
Right.
And so the same thing goes when you're passionate about Dover Gym and you believe it to be the best, then you're going to go forward with that energy and the responsibility to tell more people about it, because if you're the best at what you do, then it's your responsibility to let everybody know that, because otherwise they're going to end up in the jaws of your competitors.
That's absolutely correct.
And so for me, that's one of the things that's important. But I want to go back because we started to talk about the naysayers.
Right.
And I want to say like that part of it's huge because a lot of people get that feedback. So what then?
The naysayers, they the ones that say, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? You know what I mean? They don't understand. They think going out, being an entrepreneur is going to the bank, get a loan, start your own business. We had this conversation too. Everything I did is my money.
That's right.
I'm 100% owner.
Right.
I don't work for the bank.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again,
that's important. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't do this because I need the funding.
But
right?
Yes, the naysayers start because we're just like them. We came from them. But they'll rather support somebody that never would you would never meet them. But they like how you get out of it, how you make it. Even with your background, you like, yo, you went here, there. I ain't even know your background till we talked, and I was like, damn, that's what's up, because in you, your ideas put your ideas to work. You say, yo, man. Some people bullshit themselves and be like, yo, when I get another chance, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And you fall short because you let the people around you bring you down. And they the naysayers. It's them people around you.
You're right. Now, so let me ask you this: when you made that jump from police, like you already had your thing going, which is
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
But when you went from full, like you had this position, and then you're like, okay, I'm going all in on my brand and my business. Like, how did even I want to get personal too, man. Like,
Yeah.
how did the people that love you
They was like,
respond to
that was
that transition?
stupid. That's stupid because you're a cop. You could do 20, 25 years, retire. You'll be 40. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's cool. But this is how I base my decision. You know, I'm getting a check from the police department and I'm making more money on my own. And I'm doing this part-time. I'm doing my own thing part-time, right? Mm-hmm. So if I dedicated my full-time effort to my own business, I can double it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
If I wasn't making nothing, I'm not diving into an empty pool.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
My pool filled with the same amount of water.
Yeah. You know what's funny, man, is I was so early into starting Brightside, and this is a shout out to Dave Ramsey's Entrepreneurship book. For those of you trying to start a business, it's a great one because it talks about specifically what you're saying, like for a lot of business owners, they're doing that. They have this hobby that might be making them money and they love doing, but they're staying with this stable job because they think that that's the norm. That's what the 97% of the public says that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to stay there and I'm only going to half-ass this hobby over here that's making me money and I really enjoy and love to do. Right. But that book will actually talk about, hey, listen, when you're making this and numbers and like where you're at with your energy and things like that, it'll tell you at what point you're supposed to really jump and do what you're supposed to do with this other hobby or the business. Now, what's interesting though is like I talk about this naysayer thing all the time because for me, like it was people when I started Brightside, like people were like, look, you shouldn't do that, don't do that. What if it doesn't work? And the whole time I was like, what if it does work? You know what I mean? And I look back on that now and I'm like, man, I almost folded under that pressure. Yeah. I almost buckled under that pressure. And if I had, then I wouldn't be in a position to build a legacy like I am now, right? So now I'm thinking about generations upon generations behind my kids and how this could possibly impact them. And I know with you having children, have you thought about like that part of it for you, like versus being a police officer versus having this brand?
I can't give my son, if I work for somebody, my position in that company. I would say, hey, go fill out an app and use me as a reference. But I'm creating and developing first employment for people. Mm-hmm. And I'm giving him something that have an option. You want to go to school, go to school. You still got this. You know what I mean? It don't matter if he don't look at it as valuable. It's priceless when it's coming to our kids.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because 10 times out of 10, they going to experience what the world had and be like, hey, Dad, where you want me to start? Mm-hmm. Yep. So again,
or they find their own way, which is encouraged as well. Because I think, man, like we're living in a world where everybody's pushing this college thing. And I'll tell you right now, like I got a GED that I got while I was in jail.
I only got an associate's degree because I was a cop.
Yeah.
I mean.
Right. But what my point is like, how many times have you used your associate's degree in what you're doing in business?
Exactly. Never.
Exactly. So like, and college is for some people, but it's not for everybody. The fact that we're pushing it so hard when you got creative people coming out of high school that have already hustled their way through high school on some dirt bikes or bikes or whatever, trying to sell some, fix up bikes and sell them and stuff like that. Like if you're doing that, if you have that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, then why are you thinking about college unless you're going straight for like a business degree?
I agree. And I hate talking to people about college is like talking about politics. Mm-hmm. They go to school, get a good job, make 6 figures, and live happily ever after. Mm-hmm. And you didn't let your whole life pass you by because your ideas fell right to the floor. It's a lot. Everybody have the entrepreneur mindset. Is if they willing to go over the hill.
Yes, sir.
And people ain't willing to do that.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that. So over the hill, right? So the name of the podcast is Extra Mile, right? So it's called the Extra Mile Podcast. And the reason for that is because there are significant moments in my life where I know going above and beyond, going the extra mile was something that really contributed to a lifelong change of direction, right? And so for me, I would like to know from every guest, at what point in your life do you look back and you say, man, if I hadn't gone that much further, if I hadn't gone the extra mile in this, I wouldn't be where I'm at today? Is there a moment that sticks out to you where you just went above and beyond and it just changed the outcome of your life?
Yeah, man. Going to starting to So of course, being an entrepreneur, we develop the lying
Right.
because we want to try to convince people that we're more successful than we already are.
That's
The
big,
only
man.
the only the only thing is we have the capabilities of becoming
Right.
the lie. Some people just ride to fake it till you make it till you never make it.
Yep.
So when people start believing in me, the same people, the naysayers that was like, don't do it, it's stupid. And it was like, you don't ask your loved ones to turn on, turn off. But when they see you being successful at it, you ain't gonna say, hey, what happened with that naysayer? What happened with, I couldn't do it.
Right.
They'll jump right in the pot and support you and give you a round of applause. So you pay attention and like, wow, I convinced you that I could do it. Now you're supporting this instead of that.
Absolutely.
And then we'll have a conversation and be like, man, it was a good thing you left being a cop.
Yep. I'm glad you didn't listen to me.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't listen to me. But I always been stubborn.
Yeah.
I always been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody, I don't want to work for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? And I didn't. I'm successful in my own right. Maybe I'm not as big as another brand, but it's building. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's really interesting to hear you say, a couple of those things in there, because lying, right? We talk about like the people are presenting success the way they think the world wants to see success. They want to present themselves on social media to be some superstar, right?
Right.
And then what happens is, right, they wonder why they can't effectively set goals. Well, the reason you can't effectively set a goal is because your goal, you have to understand where you are and where you're going. But if you say, okay, I'm here and I want to work towards this, these are the action steps, I want to reach this year. But bro, you're talking as if you're here at this starting point, when in reality, if we were being honest, you're
Right.
way back here.
Yes, of
and as a
course.
result, you can't win this goal because you're not starting where you're pretending you're starting from.
Right.
So honesty, I think, is like, and that's tough. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are very optimistic, which is important, but there's a thing called practical optimism, right?
Right.
So we could be hopeful, we could be positive minded, but we have to be realistic about where we are, because you can't get to this point over here if you're really back here and you're trying to start on your goal setting halfway through.
Yeah.
Like you're pretending you got a head start that you don't actually have.
And people do that. A lot of people think by getting clothes with your name on it is being an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? No, we have a service, just like your cell phone bill. Just like that's how I look at what I do. I'm a service.
That's right.
If I got rules, I got guidelines, I got restrictions, I got late fees, I got all that.
That's right. Yeah,
but
of course.
again, people that know you, and since we're so approachable, you know what I mean? We're not in Miami in our big old house. We're here around each other. People think, I'll pay you when I get it. It don't work like that. It don't work like give me the same respect you do to your cell phone company. And then we could be friends.
Yeah.
We could be friends, but again, people just don't appreciate the hard work because they think going to school for 4 years, that's fine. That's your choice. You already in debt, right? So now you get out of school, you got to find a good job, and you paying off your student loans.
Yep, on a career that's probably 1/4 of what your college loan is per year.
Yes.
Which sounds crazy.
Everybody want to be a superstar. So if you don't get a scholarship, then you coming out of pocket.
That's right.
The best source of being an entrepreneur that I could, any advice I could give, if the world don't need it, don't do it.
Man, that's big, right? Yeah, because you know what? A lot of times, and I work with a lot of entrepreneurs under a SCORE coaching program, and one of the things that we talk about is like, is your assumption wrong? You assume there's a market for what you have.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there's not a market for what you have, and that's the reason why you really don't have sales? So
Right.
You're right. Like, you got to give the world something it actually needs.
Now, if you're inventing something,
Oh, sure.
then that's when the development happens, right?
Absolutely.
Buying a Starbucks is not being an entrepreneur. The person who invented Starbucks is the entrepreneur. Okay. All they gave you is, like, if somebody buy into your company, you already did the hard work.
Sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because, I like, who knows, right? Just like Dover Jim, who knows what happens one day. I'm presenting the model to people all over the world. but it's the model, right? We
Right.
created this model,
Yes.
we created this brand,
Yes.
and that's the hard work. You know, the other thing, it's interesting you bring this up because I see this a lot. The brand is so important, right? And we have great examples of this because, and in fact, I think you and I talked about it. A lot of people, when they're starting a business, they put their name in their business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, why? That really doesn't make it sellable.
I know.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I think-
especially
I mean-
in construction, you see it a lot.
Well, we get pushed on arrogance anyway, so
Right.
this is double
Right,
arrogance,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
Especially with me, I my name on every vehicle I have, so it's like, oh, you just arrogant. So all my friends were like, yo, you should name it Life Gym. I'm like, nah, man, nah,
Right, which
because
would've
I'm
worked,
thinking big time.
Yeah, but you're branding yourself.
Yes.
Branding yourself is important too, but you
Yes.
got to brand them separately.
Yes,
And that's something that I
yes.
think a lot of people aren't realizing, especially in this world of social media, because people need to know you, right?
Yes.
Because listen, you've done a few different businesses already,
Mm-hmm.
so the likelihood and the idea that if somebody came tomorrow and had an impressive enough offer and wanted to take Dover Gym off your hands and you wanted to do something else,
Of course.
now your brand is associated to you, Lyfe Walker, and you could do whatever the heck you want.
That's what we want.
Right.
We don't understand. People call it selling out. I don't call it selling out. I call it inventing something that needed. The world needed.
Man,
So
entrepreneurs change their minds all the time.
yeah,
That's a
so
strength, not a weakness.
people
Right.
don't get it right. We'll lose it all, and we'll get it back.
Oh, absolutely.
Just time. It don't hurt me to try anything.
Nah.
You know what I mean? I'll try it. If it makes sense to me, I'll pursue it.
Right.
No, we want to be as big as the corporate companies. That's the goal.
Sure.
I want a Dover Gym everywhere. That's the goal.
Right.
But this is how it starts.
Yeah.
Not jumping in halfway through, not
with
figuring
a
it
big
out.
loan.
Yes, with a big loan, trying to figure out how to pay that loan off and to keep that money coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so funny. You had mentioned entrepreneurs think it's just them having their business name on their shirt or
Yeah.
their brand on their shirt.
Oh no, they'll go to sleep one day like, you know what, I want to start a clothing company. All right, I'll just go get some shirts made and sell them.
Yep.
Yeah. Your support system is trash.
So the first roof I ever sold, right? I didn't have a business card. I didn't have a company shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I had a blank contract that I bought from Staples. I had no brand,
Right.
But I had the work.
Right.
I had the willingness to go and I had the belief. Remember I talked
Yeah,
about that
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
I'm like, man, listen, when I knocked on that door, I didn't feel shameful. I
No.
didn't feel embarrassed. You know why? Because I knew that I could do the best service for them.
Yes, that's where it develops.
Mm-hmm.
When in the music business, right? Yo, Life, can you make me a track? I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I make. You think we gonna say no?
Right.
How much time you need this track to get done?
Yeah.
3 weeks. I'll figure it out by then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I go to all my resources. Yo, teach me how to make a beat real fast, even if it's trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the beauty of seeing 10 years ago and seeing where you are today. He's like, wow, I could, and then you see it in people like, man, you remind me of myself. I see it, and I support people like that.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
I don't give them anything.
No.
I support them because you got to go out there and get it. You got
That's right,
to
man.
go up, down with
Yeah.
with people telling you no. Just because somebody tell you no, that's not the end of the world.
No, absolutely.
But again, people that want to start and become an entrepreneur, they go straight to their family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's gone, you never learn how to develop a skill set or selling point if you're going to your family and friends.
That's right. That's right.
Then soon as you got a stack full of product and you asking your mom, hey mom, you need a new shirt? And you're like, nah, I bought them all. Then how can you go sell to somebody, a stranger? How can you walk up and say, hey sir, you should try my shirt? Oh no, I'm good. How you convince them to do it? So
it's interesting you bring that up because I actually went to a keynote with Damon John a couple of weeks back, and it was interesting hearing his story of how he started FUBU. And one of the biggest things is LL Cool J was in his neighborhood and had just started getting some popularity and starting to get some following. So he actually showed up and convinced LL Cool J to put a FUBU shirt on and take a picture.
what about that?
In the first picture he ever took, right? You see LL Cool J like this, like all mad because it wasn't the color he wanted. It wasn't the color he wanted, right?
Right.
But listen Look at the history of that, man.
Yeah.
That FUBU took over the hip hop game because of that brand and that
urban,
and that willingness to go out of your way. Like, he didn't know LL, he just knew the impact it would have. Like, are you willing to go and knock on that door and say, hey, listen, this is my brand. I believe in my brand.
Yes.
And here's why. Would you support me? Don't just say, hey, listen, I like for handouts. People come to me like asking me for a job. I'm like, you're just asking me for a job, but bro, you got to earn a position. And he's like, the people I'm talking to, they're like, no, somebody gave you a job at one point. I'm like, no, I went out and fought for that. I went out and got my job. So, hey. don't make the head bop now. But listen, we want to make sure that we close on some positive notes for some people, right? Because we're talking a lot about like what other people are doing wrong. But let's close on some good, strong advice for people who are hearing the naysayers right now, right? And they believe in their product and they know what they really want to offer to their community, right? And they want to help. We talked about that a little while ago. So what's some advice, if you can look at, which camera you want them to look at? This one here? All right, that one right there. Mm-hmm. And just give them strong advice on, ignoring those naysayers and having that willingness to go. Like,
well, first have something that that you don't have to convince the naysayers. That's not the issue. You always gonna have naysayers because it's not them, it's you. You always gonna have naysayers because some of them love you. You always gonna have naysayers because it's not their idea. But if you believe in your brand 110%, go do it. Figure out from the start to the finish. Weigh out your pros and cons. What's the worst case scenario that's going to happen from the brand if once you start it? Can you live on oodles and noodles? Can you live on peanut butter and jelly? Can you shop at former mills? If you stop worrying, once you start your brand and you stop worrying how people look at you, and that's when you'll start winning. I say this because it don't matter. You can have on fake Gucci or real Gucci. Your character is going to project, not what you're wearing on your back. I wear a Dover Gym. It's just as good as Gucci.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. And I don't care who say what. I just don't care. And it's always been like that for me.
Yeah.
You told me I couldn't do it. But if it's some positive energy, I'm definitely going to try it. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Steve Petrello, the mayor of Pennsauken, New Jersey.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. I don't know if he watched this, but he said, man, you're a good athlete, but you just ain't got it. Right? What you mean by that? You slow. You know what I mean? And I'm 60 years old. He said, but fill out this application. I'm going to take care of you. Right? You got to do the work, though. I had to take the test. I had to go through the academy. I had to do all that at a young age. But then when I got there, I still wasn't happy because I'm 18 years old, getting $1,500 a week. That's love right there. But what I did with my money is not go out and buy Gucci and try to please everybody. I went out and bought studio equipment.
That's right, man.
Secondhand studio equipment. Because I told people before I bought the studio equipment that I was a music producer. So I had to fake it till I made it.
Yeah.
So when they came over, they're like, oh, you really are.
Yeah.
Because the naysayers want to see it.
Exactly.
They want to see it.
I like that, man. That's
they want to see it. They want to see all you have to offer. Right. And then they're going to say, if it wasn't for me,
right,
you wouldn't be where you at.
It's so funny you say that because, like, you look at half the people's social media profiles right now. What do they say, right? Entrepreneur. Like, bro, but like, okay, it says that, but I don't see that. You know what I mean? Like, I see the word, but I don't see it in your actions. And you did the opposite. You're like, let me show you. I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
And so there's so many things about what you said just now that hit home so much for me. One of which is, you were talking about like what other people like think, right? And like what those naysayers are going to think. Most of the time, you're right, those people mean well. They are telling you not to do something out of good intent because they believe it's better for you to do the safe and stable thing. In addition to the fact that they never, based on self-limiting beliefs, believe they could do what you're about to do. But if you go and do it, you're going to make them realize that they could have done it.
Yeah.
And it's going to make them feel insecure. It's going to make them feel less than adequate as a person because it's a lack of self-esteem, self-love on their part, and self-limiting beliefs are controlling their actions.
Right.
So it's deep. It's really, really significant. And then you're talking about like the Gucci, right? And like what that Dover gym represents to you over the Gucci. I'm with you, man. I wear hats a lot. I wear Eagles hats a lot because you know what? I love my Philadelphia Eagles, right? Go Birds.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. When this bright side hat goes on, it hits different.
Yes.
This bright side hat, when it goes on, it hits different. It might still have the Kelly Green in there.
Yeah.
That was just a coincidence, by the way. But it hits different, right? So I know I have a sense of pride in this hat because it's something I worked really, really hard to build was that brand.
Right.
And so.
And you're doing well, by the way.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man.
Man.
It's one of those things you don't let it sink in all the time.
You make me want to go spend money on commercials. Look on the bright side.
But what's really significant is like you're talking about the people that go out and they're like, okay, now I'm an entrepreneur, so I got to look the part. Let me go see if I can't get this BMW, right? Because they're trying to impress people. Again, talking about that lie, right? They're spending money they don't have, right? They're getting a loan. They're spending money they don't have to impress people they don't even like with money they don't have. Like it's money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't like.
And all that money can be going towards your lie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To the positive end of the lie.
That's right.
You know, if I lied to you, say, yo, man, I got a gym, and I don't see you for 2 years, you're like, yo, how's that gym? You still know, oh, it's right over here.
Yep.
You don't have to know the time limit on it or how I was going about doing it. No. I know some people are just stubborn because they'll start a brand and get a push, and then they be comfortable. What's the bigger picture? You know, what I could have named Dover Gym Lyfe Gym.
Sure.
No, but how is that going to fit in a world full of change? You know, if somebody don't like me,
right,
and my name is on the gym, they not coming.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't like me and it's called Dover Gym, you don't know the owner.
That's right.
Yeah, you just going to go support a gym. So I made
plus like, and what I really like about what you've done over there, and I've spoke like I said, I'm over there with RJ three times a week, so I see the vision that he has based off of what you've set up and established. You've clearly translated that and transferred that to your team, and that's huge. A lot of entrepreneurs don't understand that. They're so held back with info, right? If the business has experienced something, they don't want the employees to know or their team members to know, and so as a result, how can they get on board? Like, how can they get on board with the vision and the goals if they're not part of the team? So for me, I have extreme transparency with my team.
Me too.
And you'll notice that, like, if you ever hear me talk about one of my team members, I say team members. I never say employee because I truly believe that I work with these people. These people do not work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for that reason, when they're headed to the dump, and a dump trailer tire blows out halfway through the trip and it's 102 degrees outside, nothing in that moment is about that tire. Yeah. It's about everything else we're accomplishing.
Right.
So it's big picture versus little picture. And I bring that up because when you said stop worrying about what people think, but at the same time, right, your coach or your the person that influenced you by saying you're slow, you're this, right? What that does, that feedback, right, in the micro, right, is important because that's what develops us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So when we get that feedback, it's so important to understand that differently than the naysayer that's just saying you can't do it, right? So like when you say, okay, this person over here says I'm this, I need to work on this, this is feedback, this is something for me to build on, versus this person over here is just like, why do you even do that? That was dumb, man. I don't care what that person has to say at all.
No.
So on the macro, I don't care what people think. That's why I can get on a podcast. I can get on a podcast and somebody on the other end of that camera right now might be thinking, who does he think he is to have a podcast? Or who does Lyfe think he is to have this position with his gym? Yeah. But at the end of the day, guess what? I don't care what that person has to say.
No, because we doing something, we offering something to the world that people only talk about.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But when you believe in your
But
brand,
when you believe in it, you could do stuff like this. You could do. It's endless. It's so many ideas that I would love to invest my money in, and then someone would be like, "Yeah, I'm glad I did."
Yep.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love. There's so many people out there that go to work every day in, day out. Say, I hate my job, man.
That's right.
But they don't have the same conviction when they apply for the application. Use that same energy, dressed up, yes, sir, no, ma'am. Yep, I can start tomorrow, because you need that income. Create the income.
That's right, man.
And if people don't see your vision, like when the whole development of the new section of Dover Gym, they don't see my vision. But you think going to college is going to get you 6 figures? That's the only way?
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, if you bust your tail and you start doing numbers right, 200 people. If you get 200 people you training, there go your 6 figures. There you go.
That's it. It's funny because you're talking about they don't see the vision, but I'll tell you what, man, I believe in it. I've seen your vision. I've seen what you're doing. I see what you're going to do. Yeah. And I can't wait for you to put that Joker in HD 4K for them.
I know, man. Yo, they already know, man. They already, if you know me, I don't really tell when I'm going to do it. It's already getting done.
That's right.
From even with the gym, it was so a humbling experience getting something at a deficit, with a bad rep. In a bad location, bad address, and just saying, you know what? All right, it's mine. Yeah. I deal with it.
Yeah, man. That's huge because you find like bad location, bad rep. Like the reasons not to do something are there for us all, right?
Yeah, of course.
We could come up with 1,000 reasons not to do something when all we really need, and all we really should be looking for is that one reason to do it.
Right.
It's so crazy. But listen, I want to close on a good note. So let's make sure that anybody that's on the other side of that camera can follow you and make sure they follow your movement.
Right.
So what's the best way for them to follow you on
Facebook,
social media?
Lyfe Walker.
Okay.
Instagram, Lyfe Walker. Dover Gym. That's it. I mean, it's really, I don't have a YouTube channel. Everybody's saying, it's not that I don't have the time to start a YouTube channel. It's just that I don't like following somebody else that's already done it. You know what I mean? I like to create my own content, my own way, and do things. I'm selfish. I don't want to see somebody else doing something and copy it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you come back on the podcast, because we'll have you back on.
There's some
and
freestyle.
If you have a YouTube, then we'll let them know. But as of right now, guys, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook, and again, Dover Gym as well as Lyfe Walker. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Of course.
I want to leave you guys with one last piece, man. So when you guys look at starting your business or making that move, right, you have to believe in yourself to the point where you do not give a fuck, excuse my language for those of you in the room that might not want to hear this, about what other people think. And the reason is because you believe so much in what you're doing that nobody can say to you, hey, you shouldn't do that, because you believe in what you're doing, right? So understand the feedback versus the naysayers. Make sure that you believe in your product, your service, and in yourself enough to go forth. You owe it to yourself to push forward and change your life. Thank you guys for tuning in to the third episode of the Extra Mile podcast. Please check us back next week. We're going to be releasing these bi-weekly. So the week after next, we'll be releasing the next one. Stay tuned because we got some awesome guests following Lyfe. And if you guys have any feedback for us, make sure you comment on the link below and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot, Lyfe. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, guys.